Hi, I'm Matthew Maldonado, and I'm going to be talking about my cultural identity. Cultural identity is the identity or feeling of belonging to a group of people. To me, it makes up everything that I am. Starting off at 5%, exceptionality is only low because it isn't as important per se. My culture, we don't care if someone is disabled, has a disability, or anything like that. Because to us, we're all family and we take care of each other regardless of the situation. Next, I have gender at 10%. Men are the more important gender, but that is because they are primarily focused on providing for the group, the family, ensuring that there's enough income, food, and shelter for everyone. While women, their primary focus is raising the children and helping the men out with whatever they need. For age, I put only 10% because currently I'm 20 years old and I'm nearing the age of 21. At the age of 18 for men, we are, for the most part, recognized as adult men, and that's where everything begins. But the age of 21, men tend to separate from their main family and then leave to start their own individual life and begin their new family. The next thing I have set is sexual orientation, which is at 5%. It's because, just like disabilities, my family and culture don't really care what your sexuality is. You could be straight, gay, lesbian, etc., and we'll still accept you. But I have noticed that it is usually preferred for one to not flaunt their sexuality. For example, if you're gay, it's not preferred for someone to be like a flamboyant gay saying, hey, this is me, because we don't like to boast about who we are all the time. Next off here, I have geography, and I currently live in the Pocono Mountains, but most family tend to live in warmer climates like Florida and anywhere southern of America. Everyone else obviously lives in Puerto Rico. And it doesn't really matter where we live as long as we have our family with us. So that's why I set geography at a low 5%. Next, I have class at 10% because it matters, but it only really matters if you kind of live in America or anywhere not like Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is a very low income place, and everyone in Puerto Rico has learned to live off the land. We fish, we get our fruit from mango trees, we get our coconuts from the coconut trees, and we share a lot of our stuff with friends and family, so we tend to make it by just fine. In America, class matters, and most of us are lower and middle class, and we still tend to make it by because we have people that we can rely on. I then set language to a whopping 25% because it is so important that we speak Spanish, because it just revolves around everything. Talking to other family members, especially the older family members, most of them only know Spanish. Our music, food, a bunch of our sayings and stories. All that is in Spanish, and if you don't know it, you won't know anything about your culture. We also speak English, but that's as of fairly recent. And sure, you can get by with English, but you won't get far into our culture without Spanish. Last but not least is religion. Primarily, we're Catholic and Christian, and our religion builds a lot on how we act, who we are, how we behave, think, our moral guidelines. Without it, we probably wouldn't have too much order, and I probably would have been bad kid, potty mouth, you know. It really just revolved around me, and I revolve around it because if I didn't have it, who knows, I probably wouldn't have been here at York College. Lastly, I wanted to say all of my pictures that aren't mine were from Shutterstock, and 100% of the culture revolves around the greatest thing in the world. That's food. Not this chicken, though, that's just one of my grandpa's pets, but here we have some mofongo that's covered in beef and surrounded by a bunch of delicious things. More mofongo, and avocado, a nice little salad, and a delicious Hispanic wrap filled with delicious chopped steak and a bunch of yummy food.